Hello everyone, welcome to the Ship Color Palette. Today we'll be talking about Snarry. Intro. Severus Snape, born in 1960, a half-blood Slytherin. His mother, Ellen Prince, ran off from her pure-blood family and married a Muggle, Tobias Snape. They live in Spinner's End, a poor neighborhood. From what we could get from available lore, it is highly likely that Tobias did know Ellen Prince was a witch, but he despised her magic and refused to accept it. He met Lily Evans and Petunia Evans at the age of 9 and became friends with Lily by telling her about the wizarding world and being magical as she is. In his Hogwarts years, even though he was still best friend with Lily, he was not popular amongst other house Gryffindor because of the bullying from the Marauders, Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff, mostly because he was known as a creepy and moody student, and even in his own house. He was socially isolated due to his impaired and poor background, was likely not popular amongst the pureblood elite, even if he shared the same ideology with them. The reason the Marauders hate Severus James, he was primarily fueled by jealousy over Lily's friendship with him. He also considered himself as a noble Gryffindor, seeing Snape's interest in dark arts and his friends are inherently evil. Sirius, well, he viewed him as a nasty Slytherin and targeted him for amusement. Severus' interest in dark arts and him fighting back, it annoyed Sirius, so his dislike was deep-seated. Remus, while less aggressive than James and Sirius, he did not stop his friends from bullying Snape. His disdain stemmed from the fact that Snape was obsessed with them and actively tried to expose Remus as a werewolf, though that is somewhat not true, but that's what Remus think. Peter, though he did not necessarily hate Snape, followed the lead of James and Sirius, joining in on a bully and laughing at Snape's expenses. In his fifth year, many things happened. Sirius tricked Severus to go to the Whomping Willow. When James knew about that, he went to save Severus. Severus ended up saw a glimpse of Remus, and he was then forbidden to tell anyone by Dumbledore. After James saved Severus, well, he saved him to make sure Remus won't get caught, and his friend in line, the three of them, won't be blamed for if Severus did happen to either see the werewolf, get bitten, or dead, they won't get blamed. If I remember correctly, James did gloated to everyone and anyone that he saved Severus, and he knew that Severus wouldn't tell anyone because he was forbidden by Dumbledore. And after their defense against dark arts owls, well, just because Sirius was bored and they instead went to hex Severus when he was just buried in his books. This caused Severus getting humiliated in front of the whole school, and then he aimed his anger towards Lily, calling her a mudblood, hence their fallout. Severus solely hang out with the other Death Eaters to be, and became one upon graduated. He was being ordered to spy on Dumbledore, and he overheard Trelawney's prophecy, but had only got the starting half of it before he was caught by Aberforth. He told Voldemort all he knew, leading to Voldemort getting invested on finding this child, and directly led to the targeting of Potter and Longbottom's family. When Severus knew that, He tried to ask Voldemort to spare Lily if he did kill Harry, but not knowing if Voldemort would actually listen to him and actually do so. And so he went to Dumbledore for help, asking him to save Lily, though he was being told he was disgusting for just saving Lily. And he did say that just hide them all, and he would be his spy in return. The only condition in this is to not tell anyone about this thing happen. Even when Voldemort was defeated in the First Wizarding War, he still acted as the faithful spy for Dumbledore, for he was told that Voldemort was not really dead and Harry would need his protection. When Harry came to Hogwarts, Severus instantly hated him just because he looked incredibly like James, except his eyes. He bullied Harry along the years, even though he did make sure he did not die from his own recklessness and or in hands of Voldemort. Harry constantly thinks Severus as the potential bad guy in every scenario, even though every year he was proven wrong. In Half-Blood Prince, Harry got a potion book of the Half-Blood Prince, and he got obsessed over it, as the note that were left by the previous owner had helped him getting good grades in potion. Harry did seem to trust the book. After it had helped him to earn the Felix Felice, he had even tried and learned the spell that the owner created, which led to almost killing Draco. Then it was shown that the Half-Blood Prince, the owner of the book, was Severus Snape. Although it was shown that he had constantly been biased over his own house and giving out detention, taking points from other houses when he was the potion master. As the headmaster, he tried his best to make sure that the student was kept away from the Carroll twins and giving detentions that are much more mild than twins would. He had secretly aided Harry by delivering Gryffindor sword via his Patronus, Ado, reflecting his love for Lily. He was then killed by Voldemort because he thought that Severus was the owner of the Elder Wand because he killed Dumbledore. And to be the owner, you have to defeat the owner before. When he was dying, he gave his memory to Harry, who followed him, finishes Dumbledore's last order before he died, also revealing his love for Lily and true loyalty. What is Snarry? Snarry is an enduring top-tier pairing in this fandom. In the 2025 all-time top 100 list, it is on the 54th place, ranking among the most popular ship. As 2022, it held over 18,000 works on AO3. While popular, it often ranked below the major HP ship like Drarry, Wolfstar, and Hermione. Snarry, the famous ship name for this pairing, is the combination of both names, Snape and Harry. There is also occasionally referred to as HPSS in fanfiction, and there's also including their initials HP slash SS or SS slash HP. When did Snarry happen? Following Goblet of Fire in 2000, earlier fans began to explore this pairing, particularly through the HP slash mailing list and later sites. This pairing started thriving between 2001 and 2005, while the book series was still ongoing. Unlike most would think that this ship took off well before Half-Blood Prince or Deathly Hallows, revealing Snape's true loyalty. And according to fan lore, the pairing grew from a rare pair in early 2002 to having a significant number of stories in circulation by the end of that year. It grew significantly after the first movie, with many classic fics appearing around 2002. The pairing often featured darker, complex dynamics due to Snape's unknown motivations at the time. Why did Snarry happen? Key reasons for the origin and popularity of Snarry. Similar trauma and backgrounds. Both Snape and Harry was abused, neglected as children, growing up in Muggle world, finding a home in Hogwarts, and was treated as pawn in the war. Enemy to lover and bad boy tropes. Well, the appeal of taking two characters who are explicitly loathe each other and creating a respectful or forbidden relationship. The redemption arc slash post war potential. Fans often make scenarios where Snape survives the battle, allowing him to develop a mature relationship with an adult Harry, mentor mentee, and protective dynamic. The pairing often explore Snape's protective behavior over Harry, turning his hatred into intense devotion, role playing, character depth. Well, they often use Snape to explore complex motivations, with many interpreting the source material to focus on his role as a spy, allowing for a deeper emotional connection to develop between them. Tropes. Time travel. Harry goes back in time to change the war or support a young Snape. Force bonding. Trapped situation. The characters are often forced together through magical bond or circumstances, allowing them to overcome their initial hatred. Enemies to lovers, leaning into their antagonistic canon dynamic where insults become foreplay and eventually shifting to tender adoration. Mistreat mentor secret relationship, focusing on the fallout of a secret relationship and public backlash, or dealing with the misunderstood Snape who is only soft around Harry. Post war trauma healing. Both characters are portrayed as touched, starved, and traumatized, leading to slow burn romance, hand holding, and intense emotional bonding. Fix it fiction. Stories that involve saving Snape from dying, giving him a chance to live for himself rather than a spy. D.H. Snape, caretaker Harry. Snape is reduced in age, and Harry, now an adult, take care of him, reversing their original power dynamic. Thoughts. This ship is the second rabbit hole that I fell into right after Drarry. I like the thought of both of them having a similar trauma growing up, and although making different choices in life, but still having a deep understanding for each other, developing a bond while at it. But now I personally think about it, I think I like them more if they're developing a different kind of bond rather than a romantic one. I guess maybe it's because that I rather them being with others, not going to say who, and at least not now. But still wanting to hold on the thought of the bond they could have. So after a long time of reading fan fictions, I still like to read this ship now and then. But I would rather them having a platonic or parental relationship in the end. So does this ship work though? I would say it might. On Harry's perspective, when the end Harry knew that Snape was never who he think he was. On some level, I would think that given a chance, he would want to sit down and have a talk with Snape, know him more, develop a friendship or so. Snape, he is a different story. First of all, I do not think that his choice on taking his anger on children are right. Even though he had been bullied or whatever, that doesn't make him having a right on taking his anger on children, being a bully on children. But I do think there are more going on than just simply holding a grudge he had with Potter Sr. and bringing it upon Harry. Um, because I believe that being a spy took a toll on him, and it had made him into having an image he had to carry on. But sometimes I think that he's being overly strict on others than his own house. And to be fair, he didn't really get too much support on his house when he was younger. So it doesn't make sense that he didn't be strict with his own house too. In a certain way, I would think that this was more believable than just pure hatred fueling his unfairness towards Harry. Well, not to say that the grudge thing isn't the main thing that fueled the hatred he had. Having more things to think about is it make him more of a person than he was in the books. Because, well, sometimes I would think that some characters are just too flat in the books. Some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but some of them, the reason they had are just too flat. They didn't make them more of a person, more of a human being. But having more ways to think about it, like more angles for him, it makes him a real person. Maybe after the spying thing, there might be a chance of redemption that he wanted to have. Now it's time for the ship color palette. Well, after all those ranting, I would just jump into where I would put them. No more reasons, because all the reasons I have said I have led to is just inner thoughts. In the end, I will put them in acceptable. I would say that it's a middle, okay? It's in between acceptable and poor, but I'm putting them in acceptable. Maybe I would change in meantime, I'm not sure, but right now, acceptable. The tip for the next ship. This next ship is a non-canon ship, and this ship contains two of the main characters in the series. Not as much fan base as the ships before, but still significantly popular. And that is all. If you guys like my video, please put a thumbs up, subscribe, and put on a notification for the next video. Thank you guys for watching.